Canon EOS T1i DSLR. It has a movie mode, live view, electrophysics astroscope, and then the Sigma 15 millimeter. It's a fisheye, but since it's on a crop sensor, you don't see a lot of fisheye stuff. You get a pretty nice, decent section. All right, so it's a 15 millimeter f2.8. Let's just call it f3. How many 3s go into 15? 5. That means that the effective diameter of this lens to collect light is 5 millimeters, which is about as big as the pupil of your eye. Most normal eyes. Older people, I mean young people, they can get to 7, but mostly as you age it gets to 5 millimeters. Okay, so the night vision tube inside the astroscope multiplies the light between 40,000 and 70,000 times. It's 2 times 10 to the minus 6 foot candles. That's the minimal illumination you need to form an image. So the 15 millimeter is not the best thing to put on the astroscope, but it has a wide field of view. It does capture stars. I can see transient phenomena. If I'm looking for boloids and fireballs, the fact that this thing has a dim image means it won't oversaturate the pickup tube. Now, if you're looking at other unknown transient phenomena like Starlink or maybe UFOs or UAPs, well, then all you're going to see is dots, because 15 millimeters has a wide field of view, but that means all the details are going to be crowded together and very small. But sometimes it's always a trade-off. If I was to go to a 28 millimeter f1.8, the image would be twice as bright, but because it's 28 millimeters, I'm going to see 1/4 as much as field of view. If I go to a 100 millimeter f2, it's still going to be twice as bright, but I'm going to see like a 1/6 the amount of field of view. So it's always this trade-off. I like to use either ISO 800 or ISO 1600. Anything over 1600, it just reduces contrast, and anything ISO 800, well, you just don't have enough sensitivity. Now, the camera I'm shooting at 1920 by 1080 and 24 frames per second, and it works out pretty good. So that's my setup. Usually I have to point at areas of the sky where I have a wide view, which is the North Polar region, the celestial North Polar region. I have a view to the northeast, and I have a view of the zenith down to looking to west. I also have a nice view pointing south and southeast, but I do have sky glow. So the conditions of the sky has to be low humidity and no clouds. But often, you know, you want to go out on a marginal night because things could happen on a marginal night. High cirrus clouds with some humidity. Well, you can still see things like meteors or transient phenomena, UFOs or UAPs. So, you know, you got to go out. Oh, and the fuller the moon is, well, then you get more sky glow. Since I live so close to New York City, I get a lot of light pollution, which reduces contrast. So those are the things you put up with. I went out on the 5th of June, 2026, between 10 p.m. and 11:36 p.m. Now, this isn't that whole session. These are only 3 segments. The segments are around 5 minutes each in real time, but then I sped them up in video velocity so we could see the movement more quickly. Just like you would use time lapse to see the motion of clouds or the blooming of flowers, I use it's an after time lapse. You know, it's post-processing time lapse, so we could speed up the movement of these transient phenomena. Of course, meteors only last 1 second, so they usually get lost. And if I see a real good one, I would clip that out and append it to the end so we could study it separately. But right now we're looking at transient phenomena that appears as moving dots. These moving dots can be satellites of any origin. That's could be Starlink, GPS, military from any country. They could be jets, high-flying jets, local flying aircraft. They could be insects or birds. Those are all transient phenomena that you can see at night. So let's jump right into this. Now, the three segments are the ones that have the most interesting things in them. There's like 4 other segments that, if they only had 1 or 2, I just left them out. But, if 3 or more, then I left them in. And, I have used a 32 gigabyte memory card, and I only get 90 minutes, basically. So I do have some more cards, but, as sometimes you're just not dedicated enough to stay up all night and deal with swapping batteries and memory cards and all that, and then the post-processing. So there's only 6 minutes of this nighttime video. Let's jump in and look right at it. This is the area around the North Celestial Pole. You can see the bowl of the Big Dipper is up to upper left, and the Little Dipper is sort of towards the right. And we already seen one transient phenomenon go by. The original clips I all try to keep around 5 minutes. Why? Because why should I make 1 hour long video, and then if I got to cut it or edit it, it becomes virtually impossible. So I make 5-minute clips in the camera, pressing the start and stop button. And this way, if anything pops up, it's easy to get at and edit, trim, whatever. So this is early evening in June. Early evening's like 9 o'clock. It's still not completely dark yet. But the stars are out. And that's because it's twilight. Doesn't mean that there isn't going to be any transient phenomena. I would like to do it longer, but, I don't know what to say. You got to stay up all night. There aren't too many bugs this year. And there's no locusts or crickets or anything. All right, so I counted 4 or 5 already. And this is just the first segment. Now, the first segment was 5 minutes long, but I run them through video velocity, as I were looking at 5 or 6 transient phenomena already. And I reduce them to like less than 2.5 minutes. That's just the way I've been running. Now there's 3 segments here, but I deleted 4 because there weren't too many transient phenomena in them. Look at them all. Wow. All right, now we're in another segment. We're still the same area of the sky. Big Dipper, the bowl of Big Dipper's on the left. The Little Dipper is all over towards the right. There's another one for you. All right, this lens will see the bright ones and many of the dim ones. But the really dim ones, it doesn't capture because it doesn't have the aperture to collect enough light. Even though the tube may be boosting the gain by 50,000, it isn't collecting enough light to boost anything. So just think, this is 24 frames a second, 1920 by 1080, and you can see all these stars. Some of them I couldn't see because of sky glow, so this thing punches through. It's sensitive to infrared. Of course, there's many of them are planes. The brighter ones should be planes. But I have a pair of 10 by 40 binoculars that if I pick up the bright ones, there's still a dot at 10 power, and they look yellowish. Then we look at the dim ones. See that one flashing? That's a plane. The dim ones are of a bluish color. What can I say? And I follow them. I need to check them out. There are some dots that will resolve as 2 airplane lights close together, like they're usually red and green. And I just don't see that. And years ago, you never saw this much stuff in the sky. Nope, not at all. This is a new phenomena just within the past 10 years or so. And it's going to get worse. There's at least 12,000 Starlink right now, with more to come. Plus other nations are going to launch their own Starlinks. Plus there's GPS, there's military satellites, there's other stuff up there. I mean, sometimes you'll see like 4 at once crisscrossing each other. There is a big plane just outside of field of view. Other times it just comes in onesies and twosies. Sometimes one comes, and then as soon as that one leaves, another one comes behind it. Sometimes they seem to be going up in pairs. But that could just be a chance alignment. You know, they're not associated with each other. See, like, look at this one. So it's sort of like following where that other one was. And that's the way they run. Oh, look at that. All of a sudden there's 3 or 4 on the screen at the same time. Notice how some seem to come out of nowhere and some disappear. I'm going to be doing more of this, of clipping out the highlights of the night. You know, and you can see these things yourself. Just look up at the sky and you'll see them.